All right, thank you all for coming. Good afternoon. We just walked out of a very emotional and, quite honestly, well done team meeting by Coach Foster, where he informed our football team of his decision. As we go through this, I'm sure there'll be questions and things for us to talk about. But right now, I'm going to turn the mic over to Coach Foster for some remarks.
Thank you, Coach. I appreciate it. Appreciate everybody coming and appreciate the relationships we've had over the years with several of you. I know there's a lot of familiar faces here, and I can't thank you guys enough for how fair you've been in my time here, and hope we'll keep that going. But I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this today. I think at the end, this thing's about our players and this football team, and that's where my focus is going to be. But I do have a couple things. I just obviously, as Justin said, we just came from a team meeting. Obviously, very emotional. Had an opportunity to visit with the staff. I mean, this is never an easy decision. Was my decision, and I can't thank Justin for allowing me the opportunity to continue on and be a part of this program, and I can't thank Whit enough for his support and him allowing me to do this my way. I mean, in this business, you don't get that opportunity very often. You don't get a chance to go out on your terms, and I've been very blessed to have this opportunity, and Whit, I can't thank you enough. I want to thank, Coach Beamer for giving me an opportunity to do some really special things and give me an opportunity to get a chance to experience a dream of a lifetime. And that's what makes this thing really, really hard. It's about the relationships you bond with, the players you meet, the people you meet, the fans, and it's just a special opportunity, and I can't thank him enough for giving me that. But it's time for me to step down at the end of the season. I'm not sick. I'm not burned out. At least I hope I'm not sick. Nobody's forcing me out. It's just going to be time when it's all said and done. Like I said, I've been getting a great opportunity. I saw Coach Beamer kind of go down this road. He knew it was time. This was not an easy decision. And I know Justin can talk about my focus is going to be on our players, but this has been something we've been talking about for several months, and talk closely with a lot of people close to my heart, and it's a decision I've made, and I've made it. And like I said, I consider myself very fortunate in the end when it's all said and done. And like I said, I just told the team, whatever greatness is, I'm going to push them as hard as they can. I'm going to give them every ounce of energy that I have, and I'm going to expect that in return. And that's really what it comes down to. I love our players. I love this team. I love their focus. And our focus is going to be on this team and their season. We've got an opportunity we got some great kids, and we got an opportunity to do some special things. Excuse me. And I really feel good about them. And I can promise you I'm going to give them my very best for these next 120 days. There's going to be plenty of time to reflect and celebrate. Hopefully at the end of the year, I hope, there'll be some good and some bad things said, hopefully. Hopefully good, not much bad. But at the end, I'll be happy to sit down with you guys and talk about the process. But really, I hope you respect the fact that this thing's not about me. It's, you're in this business about young people, about developing and preparing young people to be successful in the field, but hopefully be successful in life. And that's where my focus is. And I hope you guys respect that and appreciate that. And I owe it to our players, our fans, and Virginia Tech to do it that way. So, Justin, thank you so very much. Whit, thank you. And appreciate you all being here. Thank you so much.
this time, I'd like to welcome Director of Athletics Whit Babcock to the podium.
Yeah, thank you guys. It's probably, perhaps a bit unorthodox to hear from the athletic director on Football Media Day. And Justin will be up soon, and we can get to the traditional stuff. And I know he'll talk about Bud and obviously this year's team as well. But today we felt, was such a special and unique circumstance to recognize and honor a legendary coach while he's still going and at the top of his game. And ultimately, coaching is teaching. He's an outstanding teacher, and you just can't list the number of people that he's impacted their lives, not only on the field, but in life skills. So Coach Foster is a generational talent, maybe a multi-generational talent. And as athletic director, I had the good fortune, the blessing to work with one of those already in Coach Beamer, and now the honor to work with Coach Foster. I couldn't be more proud of them. 30 years is a long tenure. I guess he's the longest tenured assistant coach, and he's a Hall of Famer, and whatever Hall of Fames will come in the future. He's perhaps, or I don't think perhaps, he is the greatest ever at his craft of defensive coordinator. His leadership, when we give speeches, sometimes we talk about to lead. It comes down to the people that you lead have to know that you care about them, that they can trust you, and that you can make them better. And Coach Foster cared about his players. You saw that today, or we did back there. Very emotional, and he'll give them his all this year. He cares about them. They trust what he says because he's straight up, and what he says he backs up. And then the hope to make them better. How many young men and people we don't even know about is he made better? So the definition of a leader, and I certainly want to celebrate that. His loyalty, this sense of place, this Hokie land, he personifies it, and even that tough, strong Hokie stone. He's the fabric of this place. He's the brand. He's the icon. And I couldn't thank him anymore, there's not enough words to thank him appropriately. I'm also speaking a little bit today, as is Justin, at Bud's request. As Bud mentioned, he would love to go over everything, and this whole chapter, this last chapter will be done at the end of the year. And quite frankly, he said, Whit and Justin, I don't know if I can get through the team meeting, much less talking to the media, so we all say a few things, and we wanted to respect that. And I will also respect his privacy and all that, but that's where we are. Before all the nostalgia at the end of the year, again, we have a season to play. We're still writing this book I mentioned, and before there's any Bud Foster 30 for 30 programming, before we celebrate, let's let the book finish. There's all these chapters written. We have one more. Coach Foster wants that, Coach Fuente wants that, and our players of 2019 deserve that. So there will be celebrations, just like Bud said. And is today a sad day? Yes, in many ways, but it's also a celebration. I have not yet pondered my own retirement, but having watched my dad go through it, Coach Beamer go through it, Coach Foster, everybody seems to plan for the next job and the next achievement, but this retiring thing is hard to know when to do it. And his decision, Bud's, was not taken lightly. We had a number of conversations, and in each one of those conversations, as he was saying, hey, I'm pretty sure this is the way I want to go. Every single time we talked, he said, I feel so bad that I'm letting the players down, which he's not. Justin, I feel bad if I'm letting you down, which he's not. And even to me, and we said, Bud, if you want to coach, let's coach. But you have already gone so far above and beyond. You're not letting anybody down. Do what's right for you. And I also don't want to speak for him, but I believe getting that announcement out today was a huge weight off of his shoulders. And now he can go do what he loves and just coach football and give it his all. Another great sign of a leader and a successful person is if they leave it better than he found it. And he hasn't left it yet, but he's going to leave it a whole lot better than he found it. And Virginia Tech's bigger than all of us, but it'll be hard getting over Coach Beamer and now Coach Foster. But it'll move on, and he made it a lot better on all of us. So hopefully the Hokie family can be united. Let's celebrate it. Let's pull it together. Some people might ask why today versus the end of the season. I won't get into a ton of that. Really, Bud didn't want it to be a distraction throughout the year. His contract was up. People would be asking for it, asking about it, and his unselfishness on the players and the team and what they deserved. And that's where he came to the decision to do it today. So at the appropriate time, like I said, during the season, we will find a way to honor him, celebrate him. a lot at the end of the season, some during. Just so you can get ready, Hokie fans, the Duke game, home game, we will honor the 1999 team, 20-year anniversary of that. The Pitt game will be for seniors, and that Wake Forest game will be Bud Foster night or whatever we call it, and we'll do some nice things. Maybe we'll even ask everybody to grow a goatee, and that's plenty of advance notice for people like me that take a while to grow one, but maybe we'll do that. So we will get there, and we will do that, and we will do it right, because transitions are important at Virginia Tech. This is home after all. Actually, that saying came from Bud. We had a marketing director come up with it, and then after the Military Bowl and the emotional interview after the game, during that speech, Bud got choked up and said, "This is home," and we know we had it. So in a way, he's also our brand champion. Bud will have a new role here. When he's done coaching, we're still shaping this up, still working on the number of years, 3 or 4 years, something like that, in a similar role to Coach Beamer. And it will not be a figurehead role. Coach Beamer's isn't. He works and does everything we ask. But Bud can be involved in the Drive for 25. He can be involved in fundraising. He can be involved in on-campus recruiting for all sports. He can coach our coaches. He can help with student-athlete development and young people transitioning in. He can be on the radio shows, the ACC network. He can be a liaison to all those former players that played for him. So he will have value here, and he will still be around. It just won't be with that play sheet hanging off his khakis every day. So he's taught me a lot. We love him. And today is a hard day, but a special day. And thank you for letting me speak about the greatest defensive coordinator ever. All right? I'll take, I guess, a couple questions. I think Pete said 2 or 3. And then it's Justin's show, and I will go back to the background and let him talk about Bud and this year's team, because we've got a lot to look forward to there as well.
Raise your hand. We've got microphones. Mr.
When did Bud first approach you about how long have you guys been working on this?
Yeah, and thank you. That is a very fair question. Quite honestly, I can't remember the date, and out of respect to Bud, I would just say it was over an extended period of time. It wasn't a real quick decision. We probably had 4 or 5 conversations, and it was always where he was at, and Justin was there, and it was a very small group, and I'll just leave it at that if it's okay.
Yeah, very few defensive coordinators command the salary of someone of Bud's stature. What kind of resources will you put to that post kind of going forward for Justin's next hire?
Yeah, sure. We'll talk about that and figure it out as we go. And Justin will get us the best defensive coordinator we can have. And we chuckled some about, Lord have mercy, whoever gets that job better have thick skin, because the first down or touchdown they give up, the whole fan base will go up in arms. So it'll be a good one. Have no idea what it takes to pay, but we believe in Virginia Tech, and we're going to compete and go get it. So time will tell on that. There's no decision even remotely close on that right now.
You mentioned Coach Beamer stepping down. Was that kind of the blueprint? Coach Foster mentioned it too. Just when you guys had these discussions, it seems like that the success you guys had in making that transition, how much do you think that impacted this today?
Yeah, that's a good point. And they're unique individuals, right? Coach Beamer is one and Bud is other. They share a lot of same traits. I don't know that it was a blueprint, but I do know that Coach Beamer and Bud talked a number of times about it. And if there ever was a roadmap for a nice transition, Coach Beamer did it. And I heard Bud say, you never really know when it's time, but Coach Beamer did, and he thought too. And I just know it was very hard on Bud, and his first focus was always the players. But he assured Justin and I, he goes, I dang sure got one more good one in me when he looks at you with those piercing eyes. So look out on defense this year.
Last one, Paul.
When Justin, hey.
Yes, sir.
When Justin had his introductory press conference, you sat down and talked with us and said that you were talking to Justin about defensive coordinators, and you said, Justin, you can hire whoever you want, but
yes,
boy, I think if Bud Foster is here and he's interested, he's the best one in the country. You had not been here that long. What was it about Coach Foster that made you think this is the guy to keep in the job and that he could stay in the job when he talked to you about being a head coach?
Yeah, 20 years, a pretty darn good track record is a good place to start. And then just as we got to know him early on, his humility, his fabric, what he stands for, and he could have left Virginia Tech so many times, and you just don't run into that loyalty and humility. And he and Coach Fuente have an outstanding relationship, and that was kind of a no-brainer. If Coach Fuente was comfortable with it, we were thrilled to have him. And pretty long history there and track record to know how good Bud Foster was and is.